Hey kids, how y'all doing?
Welcome to Bible class.
Woo-hoo!
Let's get started with singing the Lord's Army first, okay?
Let's do it.
I may never march in the infantry, ride in the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never fly over the enemy, but I'm in the Lord's army.
Yes, sir.
I'm in the Lord's army.
Yes, sir.
I'm in the Lord's army.
Yes, sir.
I may never march in the infantry, ride in the cavalry, shoot the artillery. I may never
fly over the enemy,
but I'm in the Lord's army.
Yes, sir.
All right. And our next song is going to be Whatever I May Be When I Grow Up, okay? Let me get my thing first.
All right.
Okay. I'm going to be a scientist first, okay?
Okay. Oh, that's so cute.
Whatever I may be when I grow up, I'll be a Christian first when I grow up. If I should be a scientist when I grow up, I'll be a Christian scientist when I grow up. Whatever I may be when I grow up, I'll be a Christian first when I grow up. If I should be a
professional gamer
when I grow up, I'll be a Christian professional gamer when I grow up. Whatever I may be when I grow up, I'll be a Christian first when I grow up. If I should be a police officer when I grow up, I'll be a Christian police officer when I grow up. Whatever I may be when I grow up, I'll be a Christian first when I grow up. If I should be a
professional ping pong player
when I grow up, I'll be a Christian professional ping pong player when I grow up. Whatever I may be when I grow up, I'll be a Christian first when I grow up. If I should be a farmer when I grow up, I'll be a Christian farmer when I grow up. Whatever I may be when I grow up, I'll be a Christian first when I grow up. If I should be a
toilet paper salesman
when I grow up, I'll be a Christian toilet paper salesman when I grow up. Whatever I may be when I grow up, I'll be a Christian first when I grow up. If I should be a nurse when I grow up, I'll be a Christian nurse when I grow up. Whatever I may be when I grow up, I'll be a Christian first when I grow up. If I should be a
box salesman
when I grow up, I'll be a Christian box salesman when I grow up.
Excellent.
That's a good one, Mr. James. Hey, before we get into our experiment, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Okay. I've got this glass of water here, okay, or a cup of water.
Yes.
So my question for you today, Mr. James, is this glass half full or half empty?
Yes, it is.
It's either one or the other. Is it half full or is it half empty, Mr. James?
It's half full.
It's half full.
How'd I do, Miss Leah?
I like that answer. That's an optimistic answer. We have some other friends who've answered the same question for us. Let's listen.
Hey Levi, I have a question. Is that glass half empty or half full?
Half full.
Okay.
Nathan, I have a question for you. This glass right here, is it half full or half empty?
I think it's half full.
All right, Brenna, is that glass half full or half empty?
Half full.
I want you to tell me, is it half full or half empty?
Half full.
Half empty. Tell me what you think.
Half empty.
Maddox says half empty.
I say half full.
And Stephanie says half full.
Is there anyone here? I have a question for you, Lammy. Is this glass half full or half empty? Maybe there's somebody else back there. Is your shepherd here? Hello? Is there anyone else in there who can answer my question for me?
Howdy, Miss Leah. How you doing today?
I'm good. What's your name?
I'm Mr. Farmer Fred.
Farmer Fred. Farmer Fred, I have a question for you today. I've been asking some of our friends from Bible class. I want to see, what do you think?
I don't think very much.
Is this glass half full or half empty?
Well, let me look at it real close.
What do you think?
Well, I'm going to say half full.
Half full. There you have it
Yep.
from Farmer Fred.
That's
He
my
says it's
answer.
half full.
And I'm sticking to it.
So we have mostly had glass half full people. That is called optimistic. Optimism. That's looking at the good side, the positive side of life and the positive side of things. Sometimes we have a hard time with that, and we have to make a decision to make a change and turn ourselves around so that we can have an optimistic look at life and events that are going on around us. Sometimes we may just need to say, and it will all be better. We'll have a better outlook and make a decision to be optimistic about what is going on in our life. Let's take a look at what we've got going on for our experiment today. Our experiment today is the geyser tube experiment. You need a 2-liter of Diet Coke, some Mentos, and I'm going to use the geyser tube, or you can use a rolled up piece of paper. So with our experiment, the first time through, we're going to use only a half a bottle of Diet Coke. So let's pour some of this out first, okay?
Excuse me.
All right, so what do you think? You think we got a half full bottle or a half empty bottle? Okay, so we're going to start with this half full bottle. I'm going to put my little geyser tube with the pin in it onto the Coke bottle. And inside the tube, I'm gonna put my Mentos. I'm gonna put 7 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to screw the lid back on. Are you ready, Mr. James?
Oh man, I'm moving away. Whoa! What just happened, Miss Leah?
Wow! That was a big explosion of Diet Coke. Let's try it again for fun with a full bottle.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right. Okay, here we go. We're going to do a full bottle this time, okay? I've got my tube inserted in the top of the bottle. I have my pin inside the side of the tube. Those hold the Mentos in place until I'm ready to run. Makes it a little easier, plus you get a lot more Mentos in there. Here we go. 7 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to put the lid onto our geyser tube. Ready? Better back out.
No, I gotta run.
one more time. Why not, right?
I'm getting way back. Way back. Just kidding. Alright, here we go. Safe zone. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh.
I was challenged by a couple of friends this week to do something explosive for our experiment, and I think we succeeded, don't you think? That was explosive and fun. Let's sing a couple songs before our Bible story, Mr. James.
Sounds great. I'm ready.
All right. I had a request this week for Jesus Loves the Little Children. Okay?
Yeah,
let's sing that.
Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world. Red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in His sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world.
All right, let's sing This Little Light of Mine.
All right, let's do
Turn
it.
our lights on.
All right, I'm going to try it. How do you do it?
Just turn it on.
Just turn it on. Okay. Whoa, excellent.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine all the time, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel,
No, I'm gonna let it shine all the time, let it shine. Oh yeah.
Don't you let the devil it out, I'm gonna let it shine.
Don't you let the devil it out. I'm gonna let it shine all the time, let it shine. Oh yeah.
Shine all over Fort Worth, I'm gonna let it shine.
Shine all over Fort Worth. I'm gonna let it shine all the time, let it shine. Oh yeah. It's a good one.
It is a good one. This week our Bible story comes from the Old Testament. How many books are in the Old Testament, Mr. James?
That's a great question. Do you know? I know.
How many books are in the Old Testament, friends?
Yeah. 39, Miss Leah.
39 is right. There are 39 books of the Old Testament. Let's sing the books of the Old Testament together. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st, 2nd Samuel, 1st, 2nd Kings, 1st, 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, and Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentation, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi.
39.
Woo! 39 there were.
Is that how many you counted? You should have. That's good. Excellent.
All right, let's listen to our Bible story. The Israelites were excited. At long last they had reached the end of the desert and arrived at a place called Kadesh. This was the end of their long journey. "Look there," someone shouted. "Over the river lies the land that God has promised us." God told Moses, "Choose 12 men to go and explore the land of Canaan. Pick one man from each of the 12 tribes of Israel." So Moses carefully chose 12 men who were brave, strong, and skilled. They needed to be very capable men, for this was a dangerous mission. Then Moses gave them instructions. "Go check out the land," he said, "and see if the people are weak or strong, few or many. Find out about the cities, whether they are well defended." Moses even asked the men to bring back some fruit for them to taste. You can imagine how hungry everyone was for fresh fruit. The people watched as the chosen men walked away. They knew it would be a long time before they would be back. Every day they watched, and every night they wondered when the men would return. After weeks of waiting, they spotted the 12 spies coming back to camp. "They're here!" the people shouted. They all crowded around, asking excitedly, "What's Canaan like?" "It's a very rich land," they answered. "Just look at this fruit we brought back." They pointed to a huge bunch of grapes, so large and heavy they had to carry it between them, tied to a pole. Then their voices saddened. "The land is full of fierce warriors. They live in great cities surrounded by tall, thick walls. What's more, there are people the size of giants. We look like grasshoppers beside them." "Giants!" they exclaimed. Now everyone was really frightened. But Caleb and Joshua, 2 of the spies, tried to reassure them. "Listen," they said, "with God on our side, we can fight and win." "We can never win a battle against those giants," the other spies said. The people listened to the 10 spies and paid no attention to Caleb and Joshua. "It's no use. We had better give up," they cried. All night long they moaned and complained. It would be better to have died in Egypt. "Why did God bring us here to die in battle?" they wailed. Some said, "Let's choose another leader, someone who will take us back to Egypt." Caleb and Joshua tried to reason with them. "It's a wonderful country," they said. "God is with us. He will bring us safely into this land. Don't be afraid. We can easily conquer it." But the Israelites wouldn't listen. They became so angry they stooped down to pick up rocks to throw at Caleb and Joshua. God could not let the dispute go on any longer. All at once the shining light of his presence appeared at the tabernacle. God spoke to Moses, "Not one of the people who were in Egypt shall reach the promised land, since they refused to trust me. They must go back into the desert, but I will lead their children into the land. Only Caleb and Joshua will go in with them." God told Moses that the people would have to spend 1 year in the wilderness for each day the spies had spent in the land of Canaan. So for 40 long years, the Israelites wandered in the dry, dusty desert. Let's trust God like Caleb and Joshua did. Let's be optimistic like Caleb and Joshua were. When we think about all that God has done for us in the past, we will not be afraid of the future. Caleb and Joshua were optimistic. They were optimistic that they could take over the land that God had promised to them. Even though there were giants in the land, they knew that with God on their side, they could do it. It's kind of like our glass half full or half empty. It's a matter of how you look at it. Some of the spies saw those giants were fearful, but Caleb and Joshua knew that they could have done it with God on their side. We started our experiment with half a bottle of Diet Coke to see how that would work. We added the Mentos, which represents God, and the Diet Coke represents us. When those Mentos dropped in, there was an explosion of optimism. That is how we are when we have God in our life, when we think about the things that God wants us to think about. Let's listen to Philippians 4:8 and about those things that God wants us to keep on our minds. "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things." Philippians 4, verse 8.
I'm happy today, oh yes, I'm happy today. In Jesus Christ, I'm happy today because He's taken all my sins away. And that's why I'm happy today.
I'm praying
Today, oh yes, I'm praying today. In Jesus Christ, I'm praying today because He's taken all my sins away. And that's why I'm praying today. I'm singing today, oh yes, I'm singing today. In Jesus Christ, I'm singing today because He's taken all my sins away. And that's why I'm singing today.
Have a great, optimistic week.
Yeah, baby! Woo!